This crazy base provides almost 1,000 crude oil per hour, and I'm going to show you guys how to build it. Alright, what's good guys? So as you can see, I have made this new oil base over here because I have been needing a ton of crude oil recently, and it is going really, really well. I'll show you guys the location and everything. It takes 6 crude oil pumps. You can fit 6 of these pumps in here when normally you can only fit 2 inside a normal base. This video is going to be split into 3 parts. We're going to be talking about the breeding aspect of it first, and then the oil part, which is obviously the hardest, and then we're going to go on and talk a little bit about the new updates a little more from our video yesterday, where I made a whole video on the update. We're going to cover some of the changes that we've learned, and then also talk about how the new update affects this huge base. So first of all, this makes probably 1,000 crude oil per hour, which it's going to take a while to make. It definitely took me a few hours to build something like this, and most of that time is spent getting the resources and also getting 2 of these oil projectors onto one single oil slab. So I did this after the update actually, guys, so this is definitely not patched. I don't know if you guys consider this a glitch. I consider it kind of a little bug, because it is definitely not intended for you to be able to get 2 on side of one single oil puddle. So we're going to spend a lot of time showing you guys how to do this. I have a full video on my channel already on how to do this on the new island up here. However, down here where we're at right now at the volcano, it's a little bit different, and you're definitely going to need to do it a different way in order to fit 2 of these oil extractors on one oil puddle. So first of all, let's go over the location on where we are. This location is special because it has one oil pump, one oil puddle right here, it has one oil puddle right here, and it has one oil puddle right here next to the little mountain. Now, normally this does not happen. Normally spots only have 1 or maximum 2 oil spots, and I believe this is the only spot in the game with 3 oil pumps. If you guys know any other ones, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one. But before we get into how to do that, that is going to be our main oil provider, and this is fully AFK. However, there is a secondary oil provider which anybody can do at any level. If you're super low level and you need some crude oil, I'm not really sure if you actually use crude oil at a low level. I haven't been a low level in a long time. I've been on this world for a while, but if you need that, you can build this setup right here. And then obviously there's some higher level components to it too. But we have 2 Kit Kats breeding around the clock. I have a ton of cakes here from a different base that I cook up and bring over, so obviously we're able to make a ton of eggs. We have an egg hatching area over here, and I'm pretty sure that chest is entirely full of eggs, so we have a lot of Kit Kats. The way this works, guys, is if you didn't know, when you catch slash kill a Kit Kat over here, or Kit, I know some people will probably get mad at me for saying it like the candy bar, but when you catch slash kill these, they have a very high chance, I think it's about 50%, to drop some crude oil. So I was out catching some earlier, and I got a ton of crude oil from it, and it only takes a little bit. Like, you can catch like 10 of these, and you're probably going to get like 15 to 20 crude oil, so it's super duper fast. Anyways, pretty much the plan is you go and catch a ton of these. They're in desert areas. I usually go right around here on the new island. I catch a ton of them. They're super weak and easy to catch, and then you can just breed them 24/7. And when you catch them, guys, you get the oil, and then you can double get the oil by bringing them over to this PAL condenser area, disassembly, quote unquote, and you can just feed them right here again. So I have an unlimited Kit Kat farm. We're breeding them over here, we're hatching them over here, and then we're disassembling them over here. And you can see just from this many Kit Kats, this is about probably like 10 minutes of work going and catching them all. We are going to get about, yeah, over 30 crude oil. So 30 crude oil in about 10 minutes of work catching all these Kit Kats is really good to supplement your oil machines over here, but that takes a little bit more of actual like work. Like, I can see why you wouldn't want to do this. It takes a little bit more work. It isn't completely just AFK, but this is for like the lower levels who do not have access to these oil pumps, because they take a ton of material. So we're just going to put that away in there. You can see how many eggs I've just been farming. I just AFK'd overnight, and it gets a ton of eggs. We even have like a little alpha egg over here too, which I don't think that will provide anything special, but it is pretty cool. Now, On to the oil rigs, how to place 2 of them on each and every single one of these. It is a little bit more complicated, and this is definitely where most of your time is going to be if you decide to build something like this. Now, like I said, I do have a full video on this if you want to do it on the new island, but this over here is an entirely different place with an entirely different strategy on how to place these. So if you guys are willing to spend the time, you can get 5 or 6 oil rigs over here. I didn't do it over here because this one is a lot harder than the other 2, and I didn't feel like spending an extra 2 hours on putting 2 here. But if you are good at placements, you can get 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and then sometimes I've seen pictures of people even getting like 3 on one oil rig. So if you want to spend the time doing that, good luck. That's not going to be me, but you can get even more. Now, before I head into the strategies to show you guys how to do that, if you want to sub up, we upload Palworld pretty much every single day. Glitches, tips, tricks, guides, stuff like this. And we're trying to beat last month's subscriber count of only 300. So maybe consider doing that and liking the vid if you want. Now, here is a video of me doing this last night. I placed 2 of them in one oil haul twice. So this is a total of 4 oil extractors. This was last night after the update came out, after I already uploaded a video on the new updates. So that just shows that it is still possible to do. And you can see in the video, I actually did it pretty quickly. That was like a 5-minute video. I condensed it down and edited it, so it didn't take too long. But if you use the strategies and tips I'm about to show you, you can actually do it pretty quick. Now, first of all, let's go over on how to do it on the new island, because that will give you kind of a foundational approach on how to do this. Now, if you already know how to do this, I guess you can skip this part, or if you've already seen my first video, you can just skip ahead on when I do it over here, because it is a little bit different, and I have a ton of new tricks and tips to show you guys on how to do it now. So first of all, the one over here, this one is actually harder than the one on the new island. But what we did is we got over to the electric furnace, no, the crude oil extractor. I don't have enough to build another one. And then we lined it up with the oil puddle. So let me show you guys how to line it up. It is pretty easy. Let's go to a fresh one right here. Alright, there we go. There is 2 right here. So pretty much this is the same thing you're going to want to do in both situations. This island and the new island, you're going to find the hole, and you have to find it in the correct place. So look for the middle hole, and then there is going to be 2 rocks in here. It's almost nighttime, so it's kind of hard to see. All right, let's go over to this one. It's a little bit more. So you're going to find the hole, and then you're going to find the 2 rocks inside of it. So there is a small rock right here, and there is a big rock right here. So this is what all of them look like. They're all the same. It has a little dark hole in the middle, and then it has a small rock and a big rock inside of it. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stand right here. You want the small rock to be at the top left, and you want the big rock to be at the top right. Now, when I was placing the oil conductors down earlier, I placed them like this. And back to over here, I placed them to where the front has nothing over here. So you guys can see the big little tube bubble things are in the back. That is actually the opposite of what we're going to want to do on the new island. Now, this might sound kind of confusing. You might not know what I'm talking about, but if you spent a ton of time trying to get the oil rigs down and trying to get your crude oil down, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, as you guys can see with the one over here on this new island, or on the old island, we're actually putting the 2 tubes in the back. However, on the new island, or on the new base, I should say, it's actually the old area, the old island. On the volcano one over here, you're going to want to do the complete opposite of that. So you're going to want to make sure the tubes are towards you. Now, one other tip I did, which you can see in the video I showed earlier, the video clip I did earlier, is I was actually holding control when I did this. I don't know what the thing is on Xbox. I wish this pal would get out of my way. I don't know what the button is on Xbox to make it move, but as you can see, if you hold control, it like shifts it around and everything. So I put the tubes towards me, I held control, and then I just right clicked it until it worked. So holding control is a really good method for the new base over here, the base I was showing originally, although it was not the best method when I was building it over here. So even though it's pretty much the same premise to the first video I made where we made oil rigs over here, it is a little bit different. So obviously that all sounds kind of confusing, but if you study the clip that I showed you guys where I placed both of them down back to back, it is pretty easy to do if you have a little bit of practice. So as you can see, that is why these ones are a little bit different, and this is the spot where I placed it from. So you can see I had two little oil things. I had the two little pumps facing me this time instead of facing away, and I was holding control when I did it. Now, one other tip I can give you guys on placing down these oil things, if you need it before we go on to the next topic, is when you get the first one down, don't spend too much time on the second one. What I mean by that is when you place the first one down and you finally get the first one down, if the second one isn't blue able to place immediately, just get rid of the first one and try that one again. Because very rarely with the control method is the second one going to be able to not be placed when it's correctly placed on the first one. So pretty much what I'm saying is if you place the first one and it doesn't let you place the second one, don't spend 20 minutes trying to like wedge the second one in there. Just start over with the first one, because in both the clips when I placed down the first one perfectly just like this, I was able to place the second one super duper quickly. So don't spend too much time on the second one you place down, spend most of your time on the first one, and if it's still not working after you place the first one down, then redo the first one. Now obviously I can't explain it the absolute best. I can't give you guys a 100% answer on how to do everything. It's a little bit complicated and you're going to have to figure it out to yourself, but that is the best tips I can give you, and I was able to figure it out pretty quickly. Now with the new update, I actually made a new video yesterday. I also really like these glass pillars, by the way. This is a really cool feature that they added in the game. I made a video yesterday complaining about the setting and saying how it was like a mistranslation and how I didn't really know how it worked, but it turns out turning that meteor setting down actually does make the meteors come more often, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they fixed that. But there were some other downsides to it too. First of all, I don't know if you guys know, but if you've been seeing the new little thing that pops on the left side of the screen, the little text thing that says your pals can't work correctly, it absolutely spams you. And I've been seeing clips from some people in the comments where it spams their entire screen, and that is not a good thing. I feel like they definitely need to fix that ASAP, or just not notify you at all, because it is super annoying. Next up, they made electricity actually easier to generate. The main thing with these oil rigs is it's going to take a lot of electricity, especially if you're putting 2 in every one hole. But with the new update, it actually solves that because they made generating electricity a lot easier. So I actually built 6 large generators in order to complement my 5 oil things, along with like a power condenser and everything. However, 6 of these is not really necessary anymore, because in the new update makes generating electricity a lot easier. You can also add this electric pylon here and it helps a ton. So overall, this base just works a lot better in the new update, even though I was building this before the new update came out. A few other things I just wanted to mention is the oil rig, the change on that. A lot of people got really mad at me in the comments when I said I feel like they made it too hard originally and you guys want it to be hard. I can definitely agree with that opinion and see both sides, but my main point is like, it was, in my opinion, it was a little too hard because I had the best armor, I had the best weapons and everything, so I didn't think it had to be that hard. But you guys really disagreed with me and you said you wanted it to be like even harder, and that's an end game thing. And you know what, I can respect that opinion. I can see where you're coming from, and some of things in this game actually do need to be hard. So maybe, in my opinion, a good compromise would be adding another oil rig that's like 10 times harder, or adding one that would be easier. So there's an easy one and a hard one, or like, you know, one that a level 40 person can do. However, you guys have strong opinions about it, so I don't really know. I'm going to bet, let me know if you guys build this base or something similar, and let me know what the max amount of oil rigs that you guys have on your base at one time. For me, it's 5. I could get 6 over here, but I'm just too lazy to do it, and 5 works out just fine. Plus, I have the little breeding farm over here, which goes absolutely crazy. I've had a ton of fun building this base, and glass is super fun to build with. In my opinion, that's definitely the best new building block in the game. I'm not sure how durable it even is. I haven't like got a raid yet or anything, so maybe my whole base is going to get destroyed as soon as a raid happens. Hopefully not. But I'm gonna dip out, make sure to sub and leave a comment telling me all about your Palworld games. I read all the comments, boys.